All right, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and today once again we're in the incredible Justflight BAE 146. This is the 146-200. We're going to be flying in South African Airlink livery from Johannesburg International down to the city where I grew up, Pietermaritzburg. So fairly short flight. I think it's just over an hour. But also the weather on that side is not great. Now, I'm going to be flying with the built-in FMC for the 146, which isn't, as far as I understand, it's not the kind of traditional one that came with the aircraft. It's kind of a workaround for now. But the reason for this is that the weather looks like it might be fairly bad in Pietermaritzburg, and there's no approaches there aside from RNAV approaches. So we can do that with this aircraft using the FMC. So that's going to be the plan for today. Right. Otherwise, we're going to be trying to follow the procedures as closely as possible. Well, I'm going to do my best. So we're going to start off with flight deck safety. We are fully coldened off. So we're going to go through the safety checks. So gear should be down, weather radar, let's come down here, off, and all the way up. Transponder set to standby. Set. Air brake and flaps, there we go, both up. Okay, then nav lights we can set to high, and then battery 1 and 2 both on. Okay, parking brake, we come down here and make sure it's set to yellow and park, which it is. And we come up here to the master switches and all on. Anti-skid should be on. Lift spoilers yellow and green both on. Right, then AC and DC bus tie, which is these guys, both set to on. Standby inverters on. Well, standby inverter and standby generator on. Generators 1 and 4, double check both set to off reset. APU generator set to on. Fuel pump left inner on. Engine fire handles all in. And let's start up the APU. Yeah, I like the APU on this aircraft. It starts really quickly. Cool. There we go. Right, so APU air and PACX on for now. Okay, now that we have power, we come down here and double check 3 green on the landing gear indicators, which we have. We want to test this guy. Oh, that's tested, and we reset that. Okay. We want to test the overhead. That all looks good. Cool. Cabin emergency lights up here. We can arm that. Turn these two on. Check that those come up, which they do, so we can turn those off again. Okay, then flight deck arm, well, flight deck emergency lights arm. Yaw dampers, we can come down here, both on. Oxygen masks. How did we test this? There we go. Tested. And that is our flight deck safety check. Well, flight deck safety flow. That is interesting. Let's sort out our weight and balance. So, fuel today we need 4.2 tons. And we are currently 7. So, actually, let's see if I can get this to work. This thing's generally a little bit strange. So I need to do the leading zeros, I think. Why is that happening? It's weird.
Airlink 110 taxi to and hold short of runway 03 left using
42
India Alpha Bravo.
0.
Contact tower
Okay,
on
that's correct.
11.1 when ready.
And our zero fuel weight today is 32.2, so we need to bring... oh, that's why, because we're only 81 passengers. And we can offload a bit of cargo from the front. Cool, that'll work. Click that to set our takeoff trim. Okay, so weather. Winds in Maritzburg. 14583, 1024 QNH, and it is currently raining. Overcast 1300 feet. So that's going to be interesting. Broken at 600 feet. Okay, but in terms of our weather here in Joburg for departure, let's go through that. Okay, wind here 3103 knots, QNH 1027. That's set. Right, clouds. We are cavalcade. So no issues. Temperature 17 degrees. Yeah, no significant weather for our departure. Then let's have a look. We'll be departing runway 03 left. Okay, what's our departure here? APDAC 1 Bravo. Okay, MSA today, 8,400 feet. Airport elevation is 5,558 feet. Chart for departure is APDAC 1 Bravo, which is plate 10-3. And it is effective. Right, so very simple runway headings. So 034 degrees to 6.4 DME. Above 7,000 feet, we then make a right-hand turn to, 102 degrees for 9 miles to JS 030. Above 8,000 feet, and then another right-hand turn direct to APDAC. 46.9 miles, and from there we continue on course. So that's very simple. We don't have any speed restrictions, but we do need to be above 8,000 feet at that second waypoint, which with our cloud performance we will be absolutely fine for that restriction. Then it's just 250 knots below 10,000 feet. Okay, taxi route for today is going to be fairly simple. We are on Charlie Apron. So we're going to push back to face our left, so we'll be facing out this way, and then it's a simple taxi. We'll do an intersection departure on India today, 03 left, so it's just a straight short taxi, and then left-hand turn onto 03 left, departing from intersection India. We will be doing our TMS power for takeoff, and it is currently 17 degrees, so let's push this up. We'll do like a flex, how about 30? Derate the engines a bit because it's a very long runway for this aircraft. Flaps, it'll be flaps 1, so, well, position 1, so flaps 18 for takeoff. And V-speeds we'll set in a bit. Fuel is loaded and checked. And so now we just need to set up the FMS and V-speeds, etc. So let's go and do that. We can also turn on, oops. Okay, let's get... Why is this completely off? It's on standby, but there should still be numbers here. How do we turn this on? Did I not turn... Genius. There we go. Okay. We are going from Johannesburg to... That's wrong. Okay, our alternate will be... Oh, right, I can't put that in. Okay, so that's not supported just yet, that's fine. So let's do APDAC. Right, the rest of our route here. So APDAC, then UQ7. We go to Ixara. And from there, direct to the Pietermaritzburg VOR. But we're actually going to do an RNAV approach, so I don't think we should put that in. Okay, we're departing 03 left, AMSAC 1 Bravo. Let's execute that. But here, we're arriving runway 34. It'll be RNAV for 34, and we don't have either of those transitions. But we're going to check this out once we're up in the air anyway. So that all looks good. Cool, so instead of going direct to the VOR, we'll go direct to the first waypoint of that RNAV arrival. Now there's nowhere in here, as far as I know, to put in our cruise altitude. I don't know what any of these do. Doesn't seem like it. Okay, that's fine. Right, so we've done our departure briefing. Let's check our brake pressure. It should be above 2,500. It's just below, so let's come up here and turn this guy on. Oh, was that the right one? Yeah, it was. There we go, up to 3,000. And now turn that off, and the cabin is ready to go. Right, let's close up. We also need that on to retract the stairs.
Cabin crew, arm doors and cross check.
Okay, let's turn off the hydraulics. Right. Fuel center transfer. Let's get that out the way. Fuel center transfer should be set to auto. Ice detect can come on. Now that everyone's on board, seatbelt signs can come on. Fuel quantity is checked. Altimeters 1027 set. Checked. This we did test and reset the MWS, so that's set. Right, now let's come, not there, we want to come down here. Turn this guy on. Go to take off. This we want to turn down to about 640, but we'll see. We use that in the cruise. Okay, so we're going to 91.2% with our 30-degree flex, essentially. Let's go ahead and set our bugs and our speed bugs and engine bugs for takeoff, so that's set. We can then turn this guy off. So TMS, N1 and speed bugs are checked and set. Doors and equipment closed and removed. Right, we can also dial in our cruise altitude. Today is 28,000 feet. So we're gonna go straight up to 28,000. So flight director on, should be set to RNAV here. And arm this guy, and we'll arm heading mode just to start off with. Dial that to match the runway. We'll refine that once we turn to line up on the runway as well anyway. Okay, that looks good. Right, then I think we can turn on no smoking and beacon lights and start our engines. But we also want to do pushback. Okay, so let's jump outside. Let's configure this guy. Okay, so Pushback Express for some reason doesn't want to work. Does this have some sort of pushback? For some reason I thought it did. Doesn't seem like it. Can we just start up and turn here? I think we can. This thing turns really tight. Yeah, let's just do that. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Pushback Express. I'll have to try and figure that out after the recording this video, but we're not going to mess around with that now. So let's go and start up our engines on stand, and we'll just turn from here. So beacon light is on, PACX and APU air off, engine anti-ice all on, which is interesting for the start, but okay. Fuel pumps can now all be set to on. Engine start power set to normal, which it is. Start master on, and we'll start engine 4. Right, we come down here. and look for 10% there. Here we go, and we can introduce the fuel. Right, let's come up here and we can start engine 3 as well. There's 10%. There's 2 big dams that I can think of along the way, so I don't think we'll be swimming. Unless we happen to land at one of those dams. Okay. Engine 2. There's 10%. Okay, let's see. Start engine 1 now. Like every time I've done this, got closer to the throttles. Okay, there's 10%. Okay, so that's all 4 engines stable, so we can come up here, start power set to normal, set that to off, and that's off. Okay, engine anti-ice is not required for departure, so we can turn that off, but we'll turn on generators 1 and 2, also put on the galley power. Brake fans, we can come up here, set those to auto, engine 1 and 2 hydraulic pumps on, heaters all on. Okay, packs can come back on the APU. Right, then TMS we can turn on, set to takeoff. Transponder will come down here and set that. Ooh. Okay. Right, and then we'll do runway turn off and taxi lights. And I think we are good to go and taxi out. The other thing I want to do is just turn this on. Right, let's release the parking brakes. And we'll go and do a nice sharp turn here to the left. You're in a dangerous place, dude. Okay, since our taxi is so short, let's go before takeoff checklist. So engine anti-ice not required. Generators 1 and 4 are on. Brake fan set to auto. Hydraulic pumps are on. We can now turn on. Start this turn so we can go look up top and set this up correctly. These two can come on now. Engine air is off. TMS on and set to takeoff. Transponder TA. Taxi lights on. Brakes tested. Sorry, that was actually the after start. Now we're doing before takeoff. So we'll set flaps 18. Flight instruments checked and good. Flight directors on. Trims are set for takeoff. We can do, well, we just need to wait for the flaps and then we'll do the config test. Okay, we need to have the parking brake released, so let's just do this. Cool, that's tested. We'll set the parking brake for now so we don't roll forward. Okay. Need to put ignitions A and B on. Cabin is secured and they've let us know. Weather radar isn't simulated as far as I understand, but we'll turn it on anyway. That's... we want that one. Right, MWS, and that to, or off the ground bypass or whatever it's called. And then we'll do landing lights on, strobe lights on. Come down here to this guy and do TARA. And we'll go ahead and enter the runway. Getting terrible frame rates with this add-on airport, which is a bit weird. I've never had that issue before. Okay, anyway, let's do our takeoff here. So, sync up our heading. So, on heading mode, that's set. Right, so we'll power up to takeoff power using the TMS. Then we'll just basically follow the calls of our first officer. We're going to climb out at V2 plus 10. Retract the flaps on schedule as he calls for them. And then once we pass 2,500 feet, we'll speed up to 210 knots and then engage IAS 210 knots up to 10,000 feet. And then 10,000 feet, we go up to 250 knots up to our cruise altitude. So here we go.
TMS set to take off. Power set, flex achieved. Speed alive, both sides. 80 knots, cross-checked. V1. Rotate. V2. Positive rate of climb, gear up.
Okay, let's go ahead and get the autopilot to help us out here. We'll do vertical speed mode. And we'll also go to LNAV. Okay, coming up to 2,500 feet. Right, let's use the sync so that we can go forward. We'll go to climb power as well. We just want to pick up the speed so we can retract the flaps. Okay, we're already above 8,000 feet, which was our only restriction. I thought he would have called for flaps up by now.
VFTO.
There we go.
Safe height speed. Select flaps.
Yeah, let's go out of takeoff mode into sync so we can keep all the engines synced together. And turn off the runway turn off lights, and we'll also come up here and switch over to the engine air from the APU. And we can also turn off the APU generator and shut down the APU. Then we can also come up here once the flaps are up, which they are already, and turn off these guys. So after takeoff check, landing gear up, lights out, flaps up, TMS set to sync, engine air all on, APU off, PACX on. Ooh, we didn't set our cabin pressure. Okay, there we go. Oh, and we've really already gone up to 250 knots because I wasn't concentrating. Oops. We should have actually started climbing at 210. Okay, let's maybe bring that down by pitching up, I mean. So let's keep it there and do vertical speed and let that make the turn, and it should keep that vertical speed and let our speed come down a bit. Right, that's 10,000 feet, so we can turn off the landing lights. Mind you, it's 10,000 feet, so we want to go to 250 knots now anyway, so it actually wasn't too much of an issue, which I've just now it turned into a bigger problem than it was. Okay, so we'll speed up to 250. Which is about there, so let's go IIS. And I have noticed that the frame rate is significantly better now that we're away from Johannesburg, so it must be something to do with that Addon airport. This is actually the first time I've flown into Joburg or flown with that Joburg scenery since Sim Update 9, so that might have been an issue with the update because I've definitely never had that drop before. Right, we don't actually need this, so let's close it for now. Right, and now we're just going to climb up to 10,000. Sorry, to 28,000. Where's the view I'm looking for? There we go. Let's set this to standard now. There we go. Okay, climb checklist ultimate is standard. P2 and AC pump both off, APUs off. Seatbelt sign we can now turn off, and lights are set as required. Right, so we just passed 18,000 feet. Power and everything looks good. What is this warning us about? Ice. Okay, let's go and get. Should probably just do engine anti-ice. And also turn off the ignitions. I don't know about the ice. I mean, I suppose there is some moisture in front of us. We'll keep the engine anti-ice on for now. Alright, just coming up to 20,000 feet. Speeds and everything looks good. Still have an ice warning. See any ice on the wings. There's that front that's moving in from the coast that we're expecting to have some overcast and rainy conditions in Pietermaritzburg when we get there. Okay, ice warning is gone. Right, we're just coming up to Addons now, so we should make a nice right-hand turn shortly. There we go. That is a bit concerning. Because Xara is definitely not 138 nautical miles from Jerox. So I believe we have the wrong Exaro. Okay, I'm gonna take this out because that's gonna be a big problem. And let's put Getok in there instead. That looks... Why does that say 146? Is that how far? Is that just telling us how far we've traveled at that point? Because Jerox to Getok is also definitely not that far. See, but those distances are correct. So is it the Jerox waypoint that we've got wrong? No, 35 miles Aptak to Jerox. That's right. Okay, let's keep an eye on that because that doesn't look right. Anyway, we should get a horn about now. There we go. Oh, all of our clouds have disappeared. Oh, there we go. We should hit a layer of overcast, which I think we might be able to just see over there. Okay, we're coming up to our cruise altitude now. Okay, so I'm just doing some calculations here. Let's go into target mode and bring the power back. And we want to keep our speed kind of around where it is now, maybe a little lower. So we'll see how our target... we can also enable sync. See how our target temperature there manages the speed. If it's too high, too low, we'll make some adjustments. The distance between Jerox and Getok is 146 miles. So that is correct. I'm just a baddie. But Exara was definitely wrong. I mean, the distance to Exara is only 36 miles. Now I feel like I might have read that wrong. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We've changed our route slightly, but it doesn't make too big a difference. But we're on our way to Jerox now. Let's put Exara back in. 35.8, so that is correct. Okay, we'll keep gear torque in there. That helps a little bit. Right, let's check out our speed. It's actually a little bit low, so we can bump this up. Not that much. That should work. Did I execute that change? Yes, I did. Right, so now looks like we've got our target temperature set nicely. Everything looks good, so now it's just a case of cruising along until it's time to set up for our descent. Alright, we're just about ready to start our descent here. So let's quickly go through our checklist. So PTU on, pressurization is set, and we'll do our briefing now. So we're arriving Runway 34, Pietermaritzburg. Okay, so we're doing the RNAV arrival into runway 34, which brings us into, let's have a look down here. I think we should tweak this. I actually want to have that NEXAB transition in there. So JETOC or GETOC, then NEXAB. That's right. Okay, so NEXAB, and we want to be at 6,000 feet at NEXAB and max speed. Oh, max flight level 140 at NEXAB. So we need some lights on here. Go. So 6,000 is the minimum we can be at NEXAB. So we'll set this to 6. Okay, we also actually need to start our descent about now. So let's bring the power back. We'll put this into descent mode. And we'll start slowing down and then engage our IAS. Right, so we come into NEXAB. We need to be above 6,000 feet and no faster than 180 knots. Into Nigel, 5,660 feet, also max 180, and then we turn to line up with the runway. There is no ILS, so we need to be ready to divert in case we cannot get in, because it is overcast at a fairly low level. But let's have a look. Our minimums are 607 feet. Okay, let's go IAS and start our descent. Right, let's dial in 607 feet. If we don't see the runway by then, I guess we'll do 610. If we don't see the runway by then, we gotta go around. And I think we'll give it 2 attempts. We'll have enough fuel to do 2 attempts and then divert to King Shaka. Right. Okay, missed approach. Climb on track 346 to 6,000 feet. When passing 3,200, right turn to direct to NEXAB. Right, it is a 3-degree glide slope, but let's grab this guy and quickly just go through our briefing. Okay, so our arrival is the RNAV runway 34. We're obviously arriving to runway 34. It's not an ILS, it's just RNAV. We are expecting, in terms of weather, we'll go through that in a bit. So, there's no auto brake on this aircraft, and there's no reverse either. And we are expecting wet runway conditions, so we don't want to be messing around with the touchdown. We want to put it down as soon as possible because it's not the longest runway in the world. In fact, it is. Let's clear these guys out. It is only 5,000 feet, so we really got to put it down as soon as possible. Right, like I said, 3-degree glide path. We've set our minimums of 610. And also we need to start descending a bit quicker here. Let's put some speed brake in. Visibility doesn't look too bad, although a bit further ahead it is actually looking great. Okay, then vacate taxiway. Well, there is only one, it's Delta, but we're probably going to go all the way to the end and then turn around and backtrack to exit at Delta. And there is only one gate. We'll park right in front of the tower. Well, it is actually in front of the tower, but the terminal as well. And no hotspots to be aware of, but we do need to be aware of the terrain. So minimums, or so our MSA is going to be 6,000 feet. Cool. Then airport elevation is 2,423 feet. And fuel we have more than enough, so I reckon we can do 2, maybe 3 approaches. We'll check on the fuel before we do another approach, before we have to divert to Durban. If we do have to go around, it'll be go around thrust, flaps up to 24, and then we'll pitch up, maintain the runway heading 346 degrees, which we'll have set on the heading bug as well. And then once we pass 3,200 feet, we will turn right to go direct to Nexab. We can then attempt another approach, or at that point we'll continue from Nexab out towards Durban King Shaka. Right, we're slowing down now to 210 so that we don't overspeed when we hit 10,000 feet. Okay, we're coming up to Getok now, and from there is about 15 miles to the airport, but we are going to be doing a bit of a ring around because we're approaching from the opposite direction. Okay, bringing the speed brake back in because I think we're okay in terms of our descent rate. Okay, coming through 10,000 feet. Turn on the landing lights. We'll go ahead and turn on the runway turn-off lights as well. Okay, let's set our altimeters now. Set and checked. Seatbelt signs we probably should have turned on by now, but we can turn them on now anyway. And we can also fire up the APU. And double check that brake fans are set to auto, which they are. Okay, this lighting is a bit bright. Okay, that's a little better. Is that? Oh, electrical because the APU is on. Oh, we need to do this. Oh. Okay, so we are over Maritzburg now. What's that? Actually used to live right on this approach path. So I used to come straight over the house. Actually, no, not to this runway. When they were approaching runway 16, they'd come straight over my house. So the house then would have been out that side somewhere. Okay, fuel, double check, all looks good. Don't need to do steep approach. Minimums are set and anti-ice. We need anti-ice. I don't think so at the moment. We'll keep an eye on that ice warning. Let's switch over to the APU air. Yeah, let's go vertical speed here and start slowing down because we're coming up to Nexab. We're 8 miles and we want to be less than 180 knots. And we don't actually want to be climbing though, that's a bit better. So what's that, 190? And coming up now to 180. Okay, so let's go and maintain that IAS. I think we might be going around here. And we're going to be able to go all the way down to 610 feet. And the overcast, the report said 1,300. So actually, it looks pretty bad now, but we should be fine. Okay, there's our turn now to Nigel. Oh, there we go, we can see the ground. Okay, we need to start slowing down a bit more here, so let's get a bit of speed brake in. Okay, let's keep that vertical speed. Start bringing the airspeed down. Now, I don't know for the TMS if we have to set this to take off. See, it doesn't, or if it does it automatically for the go around. Because I know this also doubles as go around power, which kind of makes sense. There's our 6,000 feet. Right, we'll wait for the first officer to give us calls regarding our flaps, but we want to start getting those out shortly. And we're about to make our final turn to line up with the runway here. he didn't actually call. Interesting. Let's go gear down and we'll go flaps 2 and keep that speed. That's strange because he normally calls to set the flaps at the correct speed. Okay, let's make that turn. But this is it. We need to see the runway fairly shortly. We are flaps full now. Let's set our landing speeds. And we're going to want to go down to 1000 here. Okay, we'll set this up to 6,000 for our missed approach. I think I can see the runway lights there. Okay, we're a bit high, so I'm going to take manual control here. This is where you really need 2 pilots. So I need to set the heading. Take my hand off the joystick to do this. Okay, we are quite high. There we go. I can see the runway.
2500.
Get a little speed brake. But we're going to be all good now. I can see it fine. Bit fast because I'm descending a little quicker than I wanted to maybe. Okay, we can continue. Get down 3 rein, flaps full. Anti-ice not required. And we are on the APU air right. On the glide slope now, let's watch our speed. And keep that glide slope. Really just the puppy that I'm relying on now because visuals aren't great to judge. Right, there we go. A lovely and nice stutter right on short final. That's exactly
50,
what I need.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Ground idle.
Okay,
Pressure C.
not a super soft landing, but like I said, we want to put it down.
Yellow.
Okay, let's get the spoilers out.
80 knots. 60
Can we
knots.
make it before the taxiway? Maybe. Go. Wow, I don't know if they operate 190s in here. Okay, let's get the landing lights off and set to taxi. And get the flaps up. And get the strobes off. Shouldn't go that small taxiway. This 190 wouldn't be parked this close in reality. Sure, okay, that took quite a lot of concentration, I'm not gonna lie. It's not easy when you don't have the ILS. Frame rate on the ground is, for some reason, quite bad. Okay, and obviously the classic flight sim stutters. Right, let's go after landing. So air brakes and spoilers are in, flaps are up. We can turn off the taxi lights now. We can turn off the TMS and the weather radar off, all the way up. Transponder, we can set back to standby. Oh, look at the brake temperature all the way up to 400. Engine anti-ice is off. Shut down the engine. This, oh, not what I wanted.
Cabin crew, doors to manual and cross-check.
Okay, parking check. We're at 3000 psi with the parking brake on. Taxi lights are off. We can also now turn off these lights. Pressurization confirmed, depressurized. That's checked. We can now turn off the seatbelt signs. I know, I turned off the engines myself. Okay, brake fans. We're going to leave the brake fans on for sure. Fuel pumps, all except left inner. Heaters can now all come off. Ice detect off. Now we can turn off the beacon lights. Transponder is set to standby already, and we can now open up the doors for people to get off. And we can set the chocks as well. Right, let's also turn these guys off for now. And then we can come up here and turn off hydraulics. We should have probably turned on the logo lights just now. And on the wing lights as well, just for some extra light outside. But in reality, we'd probably be flying back to Joburg now anyway, so we're not going to shut down completely. We would now start preparing for the return leg. But there we are, arrived in Pietermaritzburg. It was a pretty intense approach, I'm not going to lie. I don't think it's the most difficult I've ever done, but no ILS and no real co-pilot means there's quite a lot to do. I think it would have been full-on panic if we had to go around, and if we had to divert, I would have had a lot to do in the cockpit. But otherwise, it's a pity about the performance with Flight Sim. I don't know, mine seems to be getting worse and worse with all of the updates for some reason. But I still really enjoy flying this aircraft. Hopefully, Asobo have acknowledged that there was an issue with update 9 and that they're working on some sort of fix. So hopefully that can fix those stutters and low frame rate that I get with the airports on the ground. So anyway, what an incredible aircraft and loads of fun to fly. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way to this part of the video, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do down below, and I'll see you in the next one.